Hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Celeste 90% tutorial. In this episode, I'm going to be going over a city, but first, I'm just going to talk a little bit about Prologue. Because while it is a very straightforward chapter, there are still a few things that you probably want to know just to save a few seconds. First of all, since you don't have a dash in Prologue, the fastest way to move is actually by repeatedly bunny hopping, because not only does bunny hopping reduce your deceleration because you're in the air and you spend less time on the ground, but every time you jump, you actually get a very small boost of forward momentum. So you pretty much want to, while in Prologue, you want to be moving right as much as possible, you want to be jumping as much as possible, and you want to spend as little time as possible against the side of a wall. So when you start off, you can just do you can do as many as like 3 bunny hops at the start if you space them correctly. So in fact, let me put a save state here. So if you do 3 very quick bunny hops from the start, you can get onto this platform without brushing this corner, but if you do frequently kind of bump up against this corner on the 3rd bunny hop, you are losing time. So it is easier just to do 2. But then you can do 2 bunny hops here, jump up to here, and then you just want to optimize bunny hops while not brushing against the corners of any of these walls. And during Prologue, you pretty much want to be holding grab and right for the entire chapter, because there's no reason not to be holding right and not to be holding grab, because you're going to want to be climbing a wall whenever you're against a wall, and you want to be moving right as much as possible. So if you have trouble jumping down here and then jumping up here without brushing the corner, because it is kind of hard to do that, I'd recommend just jumping off the edge of that and landing here. You can do 2 bunny hops down here, jump up to here, and then jump down to here. And then I'd recommend, instead of jumping into this room, just walking in, because then you can do 2 very quick bunny hops. And you want to land kind of on the left edge of this platform, because that allows you to get as much height from this bunny hop as you can before you reach the wall. And then if you have 2 jump buttons, you can climb walls very quickly if you just alternate both of them. It's barely faster than just pressing 1 jump button, so if you'd prefer just to use 1, that's fine. But you can do 2 bunny hops on here, you can jump up to here, and then when you get up here, you just kind of want to jump. You can fast fall here if you want by holding down, but you won't really lose any time unless you get stuck on this corner. Fast falling just makes that a little less likely. But you want to jump up to here, jump, and then fast climb to here. And then when you get into this room, you just want to kind of jump up a few times, get as many bunny hops in, spend as little time up against the walls as you can. And then you need to be on this kind of first kind of pillar corner of the building right here is where the cutscene trigger is, and the cutscene will not trigger till you're on the ground. So the moment you're on the ground and past this point, you want to just skip the cutscene. Definitely get used to skipping cutscenes very fast. Like, your pause button should be somewhere very accessible, that you can just input pause, down, and then confirm in very quick sequence. Something you can even do is if you have a demo dash button, if you go into your settings file like you did before and assign confirm to your demo dash button as well, what you can do is, instead of pressing pause, down, confirm to either retry or skip cutscene, if you press pause and then with your demo dash button down to confirm, you just press your demo dash button, it will input down and confirm at the same time, allowing you to either skip cutscenes or retry with just 2 button presses. And this may take getting a little used to, but may take a little getting used to, but it will allow you to get a few frames extra out of every cutscene once you really start optimizing things. If that feels weird to you, skipping things normally is completely fine. Like, I still do. It doesn't make a huge difference. But you're gonna respawn over here, and then once you get to the bridge, it's just all bunny hops. try and do the shortest bunny hops possible, try and do as many as possible, and just make sure you don't fall down on any of these cliffs. I'll actually retry here, because when you get to the last jump, you kind of just, with practice, you can figure out exactly when the cutscene trigger happens. Because I think it's based on how long you spend off of the bridge, rather than like where you are, but you just want to skip that as quickly as possible. All consoles can now skip the last cutscene, so you don't need to wait for the bird to tell you to dash. So that's prologue. It's mostly just bunny hopping and climb jumping, and just minimizing the amount of time you get stuck on corners. Though you'd be surprised how much time you can gain or lose in this chapter, depending on how well your movement goes. So now for the main part of the episode, City. So, City, while it is the shortest chapter in the game, and while casually it's the easiest chapter in the game, City is actually kind of on the more technical side of the chapters, I'd say. Like for me, at least, difficulty-wise, it's actually in the middle among the chapters. It's just so short that it doesn't usually make a huge difference in the run. But with more basic strats, you can pretty easily get like sub 120 times. So from the start, from this spot where you land, you can either do kind of a short dash jump to land on the first platform, bunny hop, and then dash hop right to here. And if you do the bunny hop correctly, you can avoid having the climb jump off that corner as well. What's a little faster though is to start with an extended dash jump. Just ignore the second platform entirely, dash upright to this corner, and then just climb up. And if you do the dash jump correctly, you'll just slide past that corner. Of course, you can corner boost if you want. It's a little bit faster, but it's also a little bit harder. And especially since you're going to be doing this the moment you hit the ground, it's kind of hard to prepare yourself for that. So either just extended dash jump I'd recommend, or dash jump to here and go up. If you're going to do the extended dash jump though, note that if you move to the right at all, you won't have enough time to extend it. So make sure you don't hold right. Make sure you don't hold right when you start. Because if you start holding right, you might accidentally lose your dash because you moved to the right before you dash. So pretty much press right and dash at the same time, and you can extend it pretty quickly. Once you get here though, if you land kind of on the left edge of this platform, you can extend a dash jump and then wall bounce on that corner in the transition. But what I recommend is doing just a short dash jump to land on this platform, doing a very quick bunny hop so you have enough height to dash up into the transition. And not only is this pretty much the same speed as the wall bounce, but you don't need to extend the dash jump to get it, so it's safer. From here though, once you dash up into the transition, you want to get to the spring. There is a strat that uses a corner boost here, but it's pretty advanced. So I'd recommend going for the spring at the start of the next room, which you can easily do if you just, because the transition is going to force you to be off the ground at the start of the room, so you can just dash upright to land on the spring and then dash forward through here. You can wave dash at the start and then climb jump onto the spring. Or what I think is fastest is if you dash down right and then delay your jump so that you don't wave dash, then you can get enough height out of that jump to dash forward to the spring. And you need to make sure you're level with the spring if you want to do that. So you need to do a very low jump. And hitting the side of the spring also means you hit the spring as soon as possible. But regardless of what happens, the moment you hit the spring, you want to wait until you have enough height to just dash through here. And then from here, you can just jump until you're level with the platform, extended dash jump off the platform in front of you, and then you can do one wall bounce off the right wall, and then just climb jump up the left wall. So from this transition right here, you can climb jump at the start of the room. You don't have to. You can just kind of drift to the left wall, but you want to wall bounce off this left wall, and you want to wall bounce kind of high so that you can land on that top left platform there. But if you wall bounce too high, you will lose a little time while you wait to land. So if you want to be safe, just wall bounce as high as possible, but with practice you can get a very specific amount of height to land on this platform. From here, you're going to want to, you can if you just hyper from here, from this platform up here, you can just kind of hyper and then climb jump onto here. But if you land on the left edge of this platform from the wall bounce, you can extended hyper, and that way you can forward dash to land directly on this platform. So forward dash to here, and then you can either jump and then just dash up, or if you're aligned with this left wall, you can just immediately dash up and wall bounce, which is a little bit faster. Or what you can do to set up a strat in the next room is jump all the way to the right so that you line up with this wall. And then something interesting that I mentioned before that you can do with wall bounces as well as hypers and dash jumps is that if you dash into a transition, you can actually still jump after the transition, because you'll still be in the dash state when the transition starts, even though vertical transitions get rid of your upward momentum. If you dash up into a transition, you can still wall bounce at the start of the transition. So if you dash up here, you can wall bounce to make the start of this next room a little bit faster. But if you want, you can just wall bounce off the left and then wall jump off the right wall. Because what you want to do at the start of the next room is get up here. There is a strat that goes under, but I would actually highly recommend you use the top route strat, because done well, it can be faster than the bottom route, and I actually find it a little bit safer. Because the strat with the bottom route involves doing a wall bounce off the right side of this traffic block, and then kind of wrapping yourself around this corner, and it's very easy to accidentally either bonk on the traffic block or bonk on the ceiling right here. So for safety, I'd recommend going top, because all you have to do is wall bounce to here. And then if you just do a very low extended hyper from here, you can either wall bounce off the left wall to get out of the room, or you can just delay your up dash so that you don't risk bonking, and then you can climb up the left wall. If I just hit it here. You can either wall bounce like that, or just dash up a little late, and then climb up like that. But ideally, you want to be on the right side of the transition when you exit, so the wall bounce kind of sets that up for you. But if you want to climb up, you should probably wall jump to the right wall, because you want to enter this transition on the left to set up the next strat, which involves a forward dash to the platform at the start, and then a wall bounce off this wall. And forward dash is pretty easy as long as you don't do it too soon, because you can dash forward too early and hit this wall. So just let the transition bring you up a little bit. And to get this wall bounce, to get it to wrap around, you don't need to wall bounce away from the wall. You could just hold up and the wall bounce will get you around it, as long as you don't press jump at the wrong time. And after you dash up, you can actually just hold left, because after you've dashed up, you already have upward momentum. Holding left won't make you miss the wall, but it will allow you to just immediately wrap around the wall and land on this platform. From here, if you land correctly, if you land in the correct position, you can just do an upright dash and then wall jump off the corner like that, and it lines up really easily. Otherwise, you can just dash forward and then dash up. And if you want, you can even buffer a wall boost into the game at the start. The fastest way is to just get this corner jump, which isn't too difficult. Because with dashes, if you dash under the corner wall like this, you can actually wall jump as you slide past it. Going to the next room though, after you enter the transition, either from the corner jump or from just dashing up into the transition, you're going to want to just dash forward to land on the traffic block, and then just take the momentum of the traffic block up. So jump from the traffic block, and then you're going to want to dash forward kind of early, just not too early so that you hit the wall. And then as long as you're not too far left on this platform, like if you land on the left edge of the platform, you're just going to want to walk forward a little bit, or extend the dash jump a little bit more. You want to jump off kind of the right edge of this, and that way you can just do a dash jump straight to this spring. Like you won't bonk anything if you're far enough to the right. If you're too far left though, you will bonk the ceiling, cause you to miss the spring. You don't have to climb jump up. After bouncing off the spring though, you can either wall bounce off the right wall and then wall jump to the back to the right wall, so that you are on the right side of the transition, because you want to be off on the right side of the transition to set up the next strat. But it's a little faster to drift to the left after hitting the spring, and then just wall bounce to the right, because wall jumping actually gets rid of your wall bounce speed. So move to the left a little, wall bounce into the transition, and then from this transition, you want to drift to the left using the height that you get from the transition, wall bounce off this wall, and then you want to wall jump to land on this little platform right here. And the reason you want to land right here is because you can actually go over all of these spikes by doing a reverse hyper dash and then an upright dash. So from here, you can just dash down left into this wall, jump to the right in order to reverse hyper, and then with a well-timed upright dash, you can go over those spikes. And this isn't too difficult with practice. It's a lot easier than it looks. The main difficulty comes in timing this correctly, because you can dash too soon, which makes that happen, or you can dash too late, which will cause you to hit those spikes. Just press dash right before you hit those spikes, and you'll be safe. If you time it really well, you can even fast fall at the end to reach the ground a little sooner, but if you're afraid, I definitely wouldn't recommend fast falling. From here, you can just if you do a very quick hyper from here and just hold jump, you won't run into this corner in front of you, you'll just go right over it. And what you can do at the start of the next room is bunny hop, so that you crash into that corner right there, just to cancel out all your speed, and then you can drift to the left. And then once you get kind of level with this wooden platform, you can dash down left to this platform, jump, wall bounce to the crystal, and then dash forward to this platform right here. So if I do this all at once. And then once you land on this platform, you can just jump. You can either wave dash, or if you've practiced demo hypers enough, you can just do a very short hop and then demo hyper off of here. But then after wave dashing or demo hypering, you're going to have another dash, which you can just use to wave dash a second time. So just do 2 wave dashes, and then starting this room, you want to bunny hop to get up to that platform, and then you want to either demo hyper or just hyper off that first traffic block to get to the second one. And you're going to want to make sure that you're on the left side of this platform so you don't get crushed, and then you can just take the momentum boost and then dash up right to here. You don't want to hyper into this next room because there's this wall in the way right here. If you do a very quick dash jump from here, you'll just go straight to this spring. So do just a quick dash jump, take this spring, and it's actually faster to dash forward and then fast fall to the second spring than it is to do a down right like that. So just dash forward. You can also just choose not to fast fall if you're afraid, but the fast fall makes a very small difference. But you wanna dash upright so that you land on this platform, and then you can just jump, dash forward, and then dash up. You don't need to dash jump or anything. But to set up the next strat a little easier, I would actually recommend just jumping up here, that you line up with this left wall. Because what lining up with this left wall allows you to do is it allows you to wall bounce at the start of the next room using the transition. Give yourself a little more height to dash right to the second platform. Because if you just dash forward and up, you have to dash upright to land on this platform right here. But if you just dash up from here, you can do a wall bounce, make sure you get enough height from it, and then that will allow you to land on that platform like that. And you need to make sure you get all the height you can from that wall bounce so you don't dash right too soon. And then from landing on this platform, you can jump up from here, dash up, and then climb jump off the very top left corner of this block right here, like that. But if you find that a little dangerous, because it is kind of dangerous, you can just jump off and do the same thing kind of off the right side. It's not much slower. But after landing on the block, you either just want to jump, dash up, and then just climb jump your way out, or if you can line yourself up correctly, you want it's fastest to wall bounce out of the room. Like that. So you won't even have to jump if you wall bounce out of the room. Just if you have trouble bonking, you can't just jump up and then climb jump out. From here, the transition is going to force you to be in the air, so you're going to want to wave dash off this platform at the start. And then you can, with the extra dash you get from the wave dash, you can dash up right to land on that crumple block, jump again, dash up right to the wall at the end, and then just climb jump your way out. So kind of like that, except with a wave dash at the start instead of just extended hyper like I did. This room has a few different ways to do it, one that involves an ultra into a corner boost, but it's kind of difficult, so what I'd recommend is just doing a short hyper into the next room, dash forward to land on the first traffic block, and then you can either just jump and then do a forward dash to the second one, or what's a little faster is after landing on the second one, you hyper to the second one. But you just want to make sure you don't hyper too fast or too far, or else you will slide off this block. So if you can control your hypers well, I'd recommend hyper dashing to this block, otherwise just dash forward to it. And you want to make sure that you kind of line yourself up, that after jumping up from this traffic block, you can dash up against the left wall so that you can wall bounce with the transition once again. Because wall bouncing with a transition like that allows you to immediately wave dash off this platform right here, because otherwise you'll have to do a few like climb jumps and stuff. But you want to wave dash off that platform right there, so wall bounce just sets you up with it immediately. So you want to wave dash off of there. You can wall bounce off the left wall over here to get up to here, which is a little bit faster, but it is kind of dangerous. Timing wall bounces out of wave dash or hyper momentum can be difficult in some situations. So it is a little safer just to dash up and then climb jump off the up the right wall, like that. From here, you can either do an extended hyper and then start wave dashing, or you can just do a whole bunch of hypers just to get out of the room. Like 2 hypers there. But you're gonna want to bunny hop at the start of this room and then dash up left, because you want to land as far left on this platform as you can in order to give yourself enough room to do a hyper bunny hop. Because if I'm right here and I try a hyper bunny hop, I don't have much space. But if I give myself a little more room, and you need to make sure you get a little more height out of this bunny hop. Like if I land all the way back here from that up left dash, I can do a hyper bunny hop quite easily. And from this hyper bunny hop, you get enough height thanks to the bunny hop just to dash upright to this, and then you don't even need to land on this platform. You can just hyper bunny hop and then just climb your way out. If you have trouble doing the hyper bunny hop though, instead of dashing forward, or instead of dashing up left, I mean, you can dash up, and then you'll have enough room here to extended hyper, dash upright to this platform right here, and then just jump and dash up. That is quite a bit slower than the hyper bunny hop though, so I'd recommend at least practicing this method, because it's not too difficult. From here, using the transition, you can do like a downright dash, slide along the ground, jump, and then wall bounce off that wall right there. You can do a hyper if you want, or a wave dash, though that will reduce the timing window a little more. Or if you want to play it real safe, you can just kind of jump. And even if you're just holding right at the start of the transition, you won't miss the platform. Like you'll still land on this platform if you're just holding right. So that's a really easy way to line it up. But once you get this crystal, you're going to want to just dash upright to this platform as soon as possible. From here though, you want to do just a quick hyper from here, and you want to hold jump, because you'll pretty much always just land on this platform if you hold jump from a hyper, regardless of when you press jump. So just keep jump held until you reach that platform, and then after you slide off the platform, let go of jump so that you start decelerating downward. Because if you keep jump held the whole time, you might brush against one of these corners on these pillar right here, but if you let go of jump, it's a little safer. Because you want to fall and then dash up left, and then you can just do some climb jumps and then wall jump, and you want to land on this platform. It is also, like you see, I accidentally grabbed that corner right there because I didn't let go of jump soon enough. You can also wall bounce off of that and then just do a wall jump there, but that is actually slightly slower than just climb jumping and doing this. When you land here though, you can either wall bounce off this left wall and then climb jump onto this ring, like that, or you can jump to the left, wall bounce into transition, wall jump here, and then you can dash left into the spring. And those are about the same speed. I do prefer the wall jump dash to the spring method though, because it makes me hit the right edge of the spring and just sets up the next strat a little more consistently. Because what you want to do after the spring is you want to wall bounce off that wall and then kind of wrap around so that you can grab the right side of the crumple block. And a neat thing about crumple blocks is that normally if you land on one and then jump off of it, it'll immediately break. But if you grab the side of a crumple block, it'll actually extend its lifetime, allowing you to step up and pretty much do whatever you want with it. So if you grab the side of this, you can step up or you can jump up. Jumping up is a little faster. And then you want to extend and hyper off this block. And if you, or you can just do a normal hyper, but if you extended hyper, you can then wave dash off of either here or here. And then you want to, ideally, wall bounce off the right wall. But if you go past the right wall, you can just wall bounce either off this wall right here, or if you're right here, you can wall bounce off of here. Basically, you just want to wall bounce into the next room, and whatever works, works. Just make sure you don't land in the middle, or else you'll miss the wall bounce, in which case you can just wall jump and then climb up. From here though, the transition gives you just the right amount of height you need to extend the dash jump off this block to get to this wall. And from this wall, you can kind of like spam climb jumps if you want, or you can just carefully climb to the top, but you want to grab this wall, or at least brush against this wall, so that it stops all of your horizontal momentum, because you actually want to wall jump off of here. And the reason that's possible is a lot of people call this a spike jump. It's not really a spike jump because you never come in contact with the spike's hitboxes, and you never actually utilize the rule that prevents spikes from killing you. What this is really is you're wall jumping off, like you can see to the spikes directly below me how there's a wall to the left of them. You can actually wall jump off that wall without ever coming in contact with the spikes. So after you fall from here, you just want to fall straight down without pressing left or right, and then just time a wall jump, and then you want to press right when you wall jump so that it's not a neutral jump. Because if you do neutral jump, you'll have to dash upright. That was odd. If you do neutral jump, you won't be able to dash straight horizontally to that platform. But if you neutral jump like this, it won't get you there. But if you do a normal wall jump, it will get you here. And so if you do accidentally neutral jump, you're going to want to dash upright to land on this platform. Otherwise, you can dash right. And then from here, you want to jump from here and then either demo hyper or wave dash off this platform. And doing that, even if you hold jump, will get you straight to the spring. And this is the first room that really utilizes neutral jumping. So you don't have to do a lot of neutral jumps. In fact, you only really need to do 2. But after you hit the spring, you're gonna want to do 2 climb jumps on this traffic block. And if you do them quickly enough, the traffic block won't activate. Like you can see, if I climb jump very quickly up the side of it, it doesn't activate. If I do it slowly though, it does activate. So you want to climb jump off the traffic block quickly enough that you don't activate it. And then you want to do 2 more climb jumps up this wall, so that you can then neutral jump around this corner right here. So it's only 1 neutral jump that you have to do right here, and you want to wall jump off that. And then 2 things that you can do after the wall jump. 1, after that wall jump right there, is if you do an upright dash, you can again slide along the corner of that wall at the top, and then do a neutral jump off of it. And then after the neutral jump, you can press left to land on this platform. That is a little bit tough though. So what I'd recommend if you have trouble doing that is to take the wall jump a little farther. And then you can dash up to this corner. And then you still have to, first of all, delay the wall jump enough that you don't wall bounce, because if you wall bounce, you'll miss the platform. You want to delay the jump till after your dash. And you also want a neutral jump so it doesn't send you too far off the wall. And then that way you can land directly on the platform. Let me do this for Menchie. So you can just do that, which is a little bit safer. The diagonal version does save quite a bit of time though. A surprising amount of time, in fact. From here, so you're about to go into the final room. Pretty much just want to dash straight up, and then if you wall bounce off this corner right here, it'll actually send you around the ceiling, like that. So you just wall bounce here, dash upright to land on this platform, and then it's just a very quick hyper exit, and then you just want to skip the cutscene. And yeah, that's pretty much it with City. I'd recommend aiming for probably like sub 120. It's pretty easy to get in City if you use some simple strats, and it'll definitely prepare you for some of the later and harder chapters. So yeah, I'll see you in Old Site.